What's going on, everybody?
Well, hello.
We seem to be back again. Or, as the YouTube people say, welcome back to another video.
Who the fuck says that?
There's a lot of people on YouTube that I used to watch back in the day.
It's people, you don't know them, alright? They went to a different school in Canada.
Exactly.
They make YouTube videos in Canada, you wouldn't know them.
Like Marilyn Monroeson.
Who the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Jesus.
Who the fuck indeed?
Oh, you mean Jimmy Carter the Third?
He told me it was the fourth, but I could be wrong.
He's a fucking liar.
Jeff's a fucking liar, Timmy.
That's what it was. That's what I was looking for, but my brain blanked on it.
I love Grandma's Boy. Great movie. So what have you got today for this crippy boy?
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm still not allowed to turn my neck from the surgery, so
Damn.
I gotta be walking around like a fucking Muppet.
I got a real life horror story for today.
Ho, let's hear what
now
you
we're coming
got.
up on Halloween.
Yes, we are. That is
It's very hard to find like
days.
real life Halloween horror stories.
It is, because it seems like
Everything's gonna be like zombies or a vampire.
well, no, it seems like true horror occurs 364 days a year. The one day it doesn't occur is on Halloween.
It's on the streets, dog. You gotta go out there and experience it.
Yeah, it's either it happens to you or it doesn't happen at all.
So I have one horror story. It's called Room 4.
Ooh.
5 and 6.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yes. Alright, you ready?
I be ready, sir.
Alright, so it's called Room 4. Fresh out of nursing school, I got my first real job in a fairly large hospital in a department that I honestly never thought I would ever work in. It was a 6-bed cardiac ICU with rooms that overlooked the city capitol building. It was a very nice unit, and I started out working 12-hour night shifts. The hospital I worked at 4 other ICUs that were always full, so my unit always ended up being code bed, meaning if someone was arrested or went downhill fast somewhere around the hospital, they came to us. I had been working there for a year, and I was no stranger to death. Each patient of mine who had died on my shift was usually already on their way out. Their families were there by their side. The DNR order was signed, the funeral home was already picked out. It was rarely ever a surprise. In fact, the only time I was ever needed to do CPR on my shift was not even in my department. Yeah, I know, right? Imagine any of that.
Do you know what a DNR is?
Do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know because my father has one of those.
Oh, shit. I knew a lady who had it, and then she died, and her family was like, resuscitate her, and she's like, we can't.
So something similar happened to my dad, but he should have been dead, and they ignored the do not resuscitate order or didn't know he had it.
Oh.
And yeah, they resuscitated him.
Isn't that like a lawsuit right there?
It could have been, but my dad's not that kind of person, so
I was like, oh.
he was sad about it because he was ready to, be gone and rest, but he wasn't going to sue the person because the person was someone that he considered like a friend. Oh. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have like the bracelets that say like the do not resuscitate.
Yeah, it was before he had gotten something like that. He just had it on, like he had a paper order that he had it on him, but if you don't look for it, I mean, which technically, they're supposed to look for ID and all that first, but they didn't do that, so.
I should just pin it to his shirt, like when they send little kids home with like notes for their parents. They pin it on their shirt. There you go.
I mean, that'd be honestly better, but.
Yeah. All right. So back to the story. So I went on a nice long 2-week vacation, got engaged, had a beautiful tan. On my first night back, I received a report from the day change nurse. She said she was off for a few days and suggested to remind the next day charge nurse that the priest was coming in the morning to bless room 4. I thought she was kidding at first, but she was serious. Apparently while I was on vacation, every patient who was admitted to that room had died. But this came as no shock to me. People die often in our department, and it being a very religious institution, having a chaplain for almost every department, I just shook it off. Then she said that room 4 was empty. It would serve as code bed for the night. Around 2 a.m., I got a call saying that they have someone to fill our open bed. The ICU downstairs was going to be the code bed, so we were getting your run off the mill chest pain. Took a look in the morning, kind of patient. Nothing to get excited about. We get the patient admitted and all settled in room 4. He was a gentleman about 50 or so years old. Very pleasant. His wife was with him and she looked dead on her feet. I got her some warm blankets and took her to our waiting room that had cots so she could get some rest. Around 3:30, I was watching the monitors and the camera in each room. All the patients were fast asleep. The cameras all cycled through about 3 seconds each on one small TV we had on the desk. Room 1 was fine. Room 2 was fine. Room 3 was fine. Room 4, there was someone in there. Dun dun dun.
Bwah, bwah, bwah.
Wah, wah, wah. It cycled too quickly for me to get a look, and the doors to the unit were locked. Maybe the other nurses let his wife back in? I walked down the hall and glanced inside. There was nobody. I shrugged it off. It was late. I was tired. I was probably just seeing things. I went back to the desk and continued watching the screen. Room 1, Room 2, Room 3, Room 4. I was not imagining anything. There was someone in Room 4. A person was standing in the corner by the window, the figure completely draped in shadow. I could not move my body. It cycled through again. This time it was closer to the patient's bed by maybe 2 or 3 feet. The hair stood straight up on my neck. The next time it cycled through, it was even closer. It stood in the light coming from the hallway, but despite the light, it was still shrouded in darkness. It cycled through again, and it was right next to the bed. My heart started pounding. I could barely squeak to the nurse on the other side of the desk. As soon as my words formed, I was able to make some kind of noise to get her attention. The alarm on the monitor went off, signaling the patient had cardiac arrest. The overhead system came on. A cart is needed in CC room 4. People poured into the department. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists, respiratory therapists. They all rushed into the room, but I couldn't move. It cycled through the rooms again. Room 4 came up, and this time the lights were on. And there were 10 to 15 people surrounding the bed, doing CPR and slamming meds into his IV. Someone went to get his wife from the waiting room, but there it was in the opposite corner again, a dark figure watching the scene play out, just standing there. The man died of a heart attack. Room 4 was blessed that morning right on schedule, and I put my 2 weeks notice.
Damn.
Dun dun dun!
That one really got her.
Yeah, that would be, imagine it being wild. How fucking wild would that be? Just like, hey, let me do my overnight shift. I just came back from a nice vacation. I'm engaged. I got myself a nice little tan. And you're like just watching the screens. You're like, wait, what the fuck is that?
So my question is, was she thinking that was death watching? Because I know that would probably be a lot of people's first assumptions.
That was my first assumption.
But my assumption is...
demon.
Is it him watching himself?
Ooh.
Like, did it go to kind of like an out-of-body experience, and then he just kind of stayed out of body?
Being like lucid dreaming, he just left his body?
Yeah, and then while he was out, while he was out is when his body had the heart attack, and he couldn't go back in, so he's just stuck witnessing his own fucking demise.
That is a good point to bring up. I don't think that's what it was. I'm thinking it was probably like death looking over at him, because when it got like real close to his bed, that's when he had carded, so it means he would have still had to have been in his body for that.
I mean, maybe. Unless, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I've never had an out-of-body experience, so I can't say how it truly goes, how it feels, if anything happens, if anything can happen. Because, I mean, technically, if you think about it, they say it's your soul or spirit just leaving your body for a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
But technically, I don't believe your body needs that to survive, as long as your heart's still beating while you're doing it.
I mean, look at Gingers. Ew.
Right.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
And South Park for the win.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that checks out. That does make sense.
The world, the body, science, demonology, it's all a fucking...
numerology, Corey Feldman.
It's all very interesting. Like... There's so much unknown that we don't understand. I mean, for example, our our government's more worried about exploring space when I recently saw a documentary, and I believe that's what the wife, I can't remember if she mentioned it to you or not, but they put a camera on a device, attached fish to it, and sent it down in the Mariana Trench to try and see what's down there. Yeah. We don't know what lives down there besides a couple fish because we don't have anything that can get down there.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to put more money and time into exploring our own planet and everything that exists within than outer space. Outer space should be second. Like, yes, we know that there's paranormal activity.
Yeah.
But we don't know why. Like, technically, what causes the ghost to be here? Is there a second dimension or a ghost realm of sorts? Yeah. And I think we've mentioned it before, like, to ghosts, are we the ghosts for them?
Hits blunt, but what if we're the ghosts?
It is, but it's one of those things where, you know, there could be a whole other realm that spirits live in that, for the most part, we don't see. But the people that are sensitive or mediums, they have access to that side where the normal person that isn't as sensitive doesn't. So when a haunting's going on, how can we say that that's not someone doing, you know, living?
Trying to get rid of us?
Yeah, or them living in their realm. Like, when sheets get pulled off, what if someone's pulling a sheet off of their bed to go fucking wash it? When shit's getting knocked down, what if there's something going on in their realm that's causing it to happen?
Yeah.
And it's having that ripple effect into our realm. Like, we have no idea.
So you're not saying necessarily ghosts, you're just saying a separate dimension where the lines are blurred.
So, where spirits go after we pass. So not necessarily ghosts, because maybe that's the true, you know, quote unquote heaven, which again, I'm not a religious person in that aspect or that religion, so I can't speak on it, but what if that's heaven? Like the spirits go to that realm and that's where they live on.
Okay.
And we just get glimpses of it because it's technically coexisting with ours.
Those weird coexist bumper stickers on their fucking cars.
Right. Just a whole different meaning that even they don't understand.
That would be a trip. If you die, you don't know you die, and you're just reliving another life. With no memories, and you're like, wait, is that a fucking ghost? And you're like, oh no, it's alternate dimension, baby.
Exactly. I mean, we don't know. No one's ever put time into really trying to explore that. If you think about it, at least no one that I've heard of.
But at the same time, I understand why they don't do it, because they're like, that's not real science, that's spiritualism. Like, who's to say?
Exactly. I mean, just because something is science doesn't mean that science and spiritualism can't mix.
I don't believe in God, I believe in science.
Right.
That's just that's the only thing that came into my mind when you were saying that. As soon as you said, what if they can coexist? I was like, I don't believe in God, I believe in science.
I mean, there's got to be something.
Like some weird pseudoscience that they can fucking study.
Because, again, we don't even know what's fucking in our oceans. Like, think about all the people that have died in boats, be it due to war or due to just a mass tragic event on the ship, a catastrophic failure.
Ocean ghosts?
Yes, my point exactly. Like, if you were to go down...
I wanted to make that sound like a joke, but you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Like, you got me. Think about it. The Titanic, look at how many lives were lost. How many bodies had to still be in that ship.
Yeah.
We couldn't go down to the depths to explore it because of where it was at. So imagine being able to have something that could go. Could you catch paranormal activity on the sunken ships?
Have you ever seen that video where that guy's working in one of those Alaskan fishing ships, and he hears like wailing and crying in the ocean, like in the middle of the night?
Yeah, like what he was thinking was like a mermaid or something, like, and he would see it swimming or moving the water, and then later like his boat was swarmed by like FBI or some shit.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I don't think it's mermaid. I think it might be ghost. Because if you think about it, we've talked about it before. where we had said that water carries energy. So then like you always find like heavy like paranormal activity around like places that like residuate water. Is that a real word?
I'm not sure, but it is
Collects
now.
residual water. Like my ex-father-in-law's house. Remember we were saying I was asking his grandson if there's anything like that would cause it. And he's like, no, we don't know what it could be. He rented out to some people and they left like satanic like symbols in the house and whatnot. But
Yeah.
like people died here too, like in the close by. And he's like, yeah, there's also like a little wash that runs through. And the day I had seen all that shit when I went to go drop off my stuff,
Yeah.
it had rained the day before. So I don't want to sound like a hippie, but y'all make the correlation there.
Well, no, I mean, there's been places like if you go to like one set of paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, whatever you want to call them, did like an abandoned, supposedly haunted watermill, and it was still by the river, and they had mass activity.
Ooh.
Where, again, you can go to some places that have a lot of activity and you don't really know. There could be an underwater or underground aquifer that you don't know about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's again part of the exploring our own fucking world. We don't know, they discover new shit for oil for this all the time, but there can easily be underwater aquifers and shit like that all over that we don't know about that are giving that power. Why water gives it power, I honestly don't know. I've never done the research.
But if you look at it, yeah, there's like the hippie chicks like they do like the crystals and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I gotta charge my crystal in distilled water. I was like, I don't know what that does, and I didn't pay attention to what it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I had a manager. She was a Wiccan, and when it was like the full moon, she was telling me, like, oh, well, I need to take like this jar of water outside to
Isn't that the sound that they make when they do fucking DJ shit? Wiki, wiki.
That was a bad joke.
Thank you.
That was a horrible joke. You sit in that bomb that you just laid in that duty.
Dead humor, motherfudger.
But yeah, she's telling me, like, it's a full moon, so I have to like take this jar of water out and like charge it, and then I think she said she drank it after. I was like, what the fuck does that do? But I don't know. Like I said, water carries energy. I've
never studied like the Wiccan stuff. If it's the same person, that you're speaking about, then yeah. I know that one, but I never got into that kind of discussion with them. Yeah. It was always just more hanging out, spending time with their family and them.
Doing kickflips.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do research, or again, if there's any people that study, Wicca or anything like that, and not Pedia, yeah. Let us know.
Who have a profound knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, any of the stuff that we're not sure about, if it's something you've practiced, have knowledge on, experienced, we have our Discord in there. I'm trying to figure out a Telegram group so we could have that set up, but that's a work in progress. So for now, just stick to the Discord, but, send stories, send us your information, a way we can get a hold of you. And, we'd always love to have or add someone to this podcast. I do have a way to get my phone connected to a recording software. So if it's a call that's needed, your call would be recorded. If you're okay with that, of course. So just find a way to get a hold of us. Like I said, Discord will be the best. So,
like I said, at first you gave me that theory and like oceans could be haunted.
Yeah.
I was like, that's insane. And then I started thinking about like the charging, like the water and all that, and how water carries energy. I was like, son of a bitch, you just made me a believer.
It's a giant power plant for the paranormal. Think about the Bermuda Triangle.
That's our next podcast coming live to you from the ocean. This is the cruise tapes.
I would love to do that, but I am terrified of boats.
We'll rent a dinghy. How about that? And we'll go into a lake. I
mean, that's fine. I've been water skiing. It's just like the ocean And it's
Open
just
water?
the fact, it's not even, yeah, I guess, well, no, because can't lakes be considered open water?
I guess, but I mean, like,
My thing
ocean
is,
where you're like miles and miles and miles away from other fucking,
yeah, and
yeah,
you don't know what's down there. That's what bugs the hell out of me is the
the
fact
Meg.
of we're on the surf. I mean, who knows?
Bum bum.
We're on the surface and we don't know what is underneath us. Yes, we know fish, but we know
Durr.
nothing else.
You know what? I
So
think there's a bird down there.
there could be,
But
we don't know.
yeah, no, that's we really sidetracked from the original concept of this episode. I feel like it wouldn't be one of our fucking podcast episodes if we didn't stray at least a little bit.
Very true. And actually, while we're on that, another sidebar. I know we've talked about getting back out to investigations, but unfortunately, due to my surgery, we haven't been able to. I still have another couple weeks before I go back. They let me know if I'm still on heavy restrictions or not. So that kind of content could still be a ways off. We'll keep you posted in the episodes if one's coming, if it's going to be a while before we're able to, or depending if it's a smaller location, that might be doable. Just anything big is going to be kind of difficult because of, not being able to lift, carry equipment, stuff like that. So, like I said, we'll see how that goes, but we'll be at least getting episodes out to you, trying to collect more listener stories, stuff like that. So we will have content coming to you guys like normal. So that's a plus.
This is the part of the episode where we roll out our new segment. It's called Duffy Solo Adventures. I go investigate haunted stuff by myself, and it's just 5 minutes of me going, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Start hearing gunshots and running. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that concludes our episode for today.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that going very well.
Oh no, I would for sure not do it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see you setting foot in a haunted place solo.
No, fuck no. I didn't even want to do the Rando Nautica? I didn't even want to do that, and you were armed, and there was 3 of us.
We actually do have to try that again. Just saying.
We have to go better prepared with like ropes and like a hook or something.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'll just makeshift a grappling hook that I can shoot out of the gun.
Or maybe like a rope so one of us can go down and climb back up.
It would have to be Daddy Fat Sacks.
Yeah.
Because I know unless we get fucking military grade rope, my fat ass isn't being held up by anything.
Yeah, I don't see myself going down and going back up easily.
So, again, that style stuff is coming, but just be patient. Like I said, this surgery wasn't wanted, but god damn, it was needed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really was. Well, sir, I think that kind of concludes our episode for today.
I believe so. It was good to talk to you guys again. Enjoy it every time.
We missed you. We missed you deeply.
Yes, we did.
Well, from Duffy and the narrator, just signing off, saying happy Halloween.
Yay.
And be safe. Keep them spookies at bay.
And don't forget your signature sign-off phrase.
Oh, right. Bye!
You still kind of forgot it. We'll see you in Helheim.
Oh, right. We'll see you in Helheim.